When the left-wing media in the US start to question the old guy in the White House, there's a serious problem. Usually they're not only prepared to go along with the climate emergency narrative and support the punishing environmental regulations that aim to tackle it, but they positively advocate for them. Think New York Times and Washington Post. But in the case of the auto industry, we're seeing a noticeable switch in the reporting, with some articles, like the one we'll look at in this video, actually going beyond the usual scratch-the-surface reporting and challenging the whole basis of the White House narrative. Perhaps they're finally realising that the kind of sweeping change envisaged by the EV push is a much bigger deal than anyone is prepared to admit, and that the damage it could do to industry and the wider economy is significant. Let's hope we see more of this in the future. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer turned Sydney YouTuber. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment down below, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter X. A week or so ago, the US Environmental Protection Agency dropped a whole slew of regulations regarding tailpipe emission standards. Not only do they cover light vehicles, but also the whole heavy trucking industry, the insanity of which was the subject of an earlier video linked up here. Despite the fact that the regulations were watered down a bit at the last minute to sweeten the unions, they are still effectively an EV mandate in disguise, which will annoy a huge number of ordinary Americans, as USA Today reports. If you like your car, good luck keeping it. Biden's EV mandate drives change people don't want. As with most bureaucratic mumbo-jumbo, the meaning of Joe Biden's new EPA mandate is less than clear. I'll translate. If you like your current gas-powered car, SUV or truck, too bad. In 2013, then-President Barack Obama earned himself the Lie of the Year after he had repeatedly assured Americans, if you like your healthcare plan, you can keep it. That simply wasn't true, and the rollout of Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, caused millions of people to receive cancellation notices. The government's intrusion into the private health insurance market had major consequences, and many Americans weren't happy about it. More than 10 years later, President Joe Biden is driving major disruptions in another major US industry, automobiles. Unlike his former boss, Biden's not even bothering to promise the American people that if they like their car, they can keep it. Biden, however, also is not being upfront with the public about what his new Environmental Protection Agency rule actually means. The headline announcing the EPA mandate last month proclaims, Biden-Harris administration finalizes strongest ever pollution standards for cars that positions US companies and workers to lead the clean vehicle future, protect public health, address the climate crisis, save drivers money. As with most bureaucratic mumbo-jumbo, the meaning is less than clear. I'll translate. If you like your current gas-powered car, SUV or truck, too bad. And I hope you're sitting down for this next bit because it's quite astonishing. Because we're in a presidential campaign, expect to hear former President Donald Trump harp on potential consequences of Biden's EPA rule. In fact, Trump has vowed to overturn it. Joe Biden's extreme electric vehicle mandate will force Americans to buy ultra-expensive cars they do not want and cannot afford, while destroying the US auto industry in the process, the Trump campaign told Fox News last month. This radical policy is anti-jobs, anti-consumer, and anti-American. I have to agree with Trump on this one. Well, the author certainly won't be keeping her job long if she continues to write sentences like that. And she also highlights the way that this was done cloak and dagger, via the method of EPA regulations rather than through a proper and transparent legislative process. Rather than go through Congress where a robust public debate could have taken place, Biden quietly did it through the rulemaking process. It's politically deceptive in a way that is all too typical of the Biden administration in a lot of different areas, says James Meigs of the Manhattan Institute. They have opted to make major policy changes out of sight of the average voter. If Biden doesn't want us to keep our beloved gas-powered cars, then he should just say so. The American people deserve to know what a future with Biden at the wheel really looks like. Wow. All I can say is wow. I mean, the same nonsense is happening here in Australia, where our idiotic Energy Minister Chris Bowen believes that the entire grid can be run on wind and solar farms and nothing else. If the journalists at USA Today are starting to write things like this, then that is a real sign that the rubber stamp of the legacy media may be about to be withdrawn. We can certainly hope that's the case.